Shane here, Long Last 67. Just doing some work on the King Tiger, trying to get it wrapped up. So, applying panel washes now, and I've already put the filter down. The filter's kind of act a little bit as a wash in this model, as the scale is so small that a heavy wash would be a little bit too intense. So what I'm just going to do now, I have a wash made up here of shadow brown. Take one of my fine pencils, fine brushes, and start applying the wash. So it's going to start working into panel lines. It's quite simple, and let's let the capillary action do the work for me. So I hope you're all keeping well. It is pretty wonderful weather outside, I must say. We've been pretty lucky this week. But bring this in. There we go. So like it's not been very Irishy weather, as in that we've been getting sunshine. And somebody asking, what am I doing in here if it's all sunny? Well, there's no one really about, and I don't really like wandering around on my own. I just don't like it that much. I just feel a bit weird. But so I think these panel lines are just going to help accentuate the well seams and whatnot. You don't have to do this. Is personal preference. I just like the appearance of it. So I've been watching a very good channel of late called Lindy Beige. That Carlos Mendez recommended to me. It's a historical kind of medieval and ancient warfare orientated channel. It's very good actually. The guy, I think Lloyd is his name, whose channel it is, he's such an interesting character. So I really enjoy his personality. I think he's so funny. It's great humour. And he never seems to, I think beige is his favourite colour, because he always seems to have nothing but beige shirts. So Lindy Beige is the name of that channel. I would recommend giving it a watch. It's very interesting. So the beauty of using oils is that if it goes over the area you're working in, you can just simply wipe it away. It's a very easy medium to work with. Nice and simple. So I'm nearly finished with this now. Just need to do a little bit more work. I've also added some washes, kind of ivory black, into the engine compartment, just to add a bit of kind of grease and oil, with a bit of shadow brown in some areas. Can't really tell them apart, but there are different shades in there. Funny thing is, you're not going to see any of this once it's buttoned up, but I might leave the panel loose so I can remove it to display the engine.
Take that and shine at 5:15.
So I've been looking into some new rules I might try. I have Warhammer Ancient Battles. I think on Catheringham, I think I mentioned before in my videos, is doing a project, so I should actually contact him and ask him some advice regarding Warhammer Ancient Battles. I've never played it before. It might be handy because I have like a local game shop that's very big into Warhammer. I might put the rope some guys in to participate in some battles with me, because the war rule game set is very similar to Warhammer Fantasy, so it should be fairly easy to get people to participate with me. And like wargaming would be my next big passion in model making. You know, I probably more wargaming models than actual like static models. I probably might do actually a proper video discussing that one of the days, actually, like because you know a lot of model makers and wargamers are equally kind of ignorant of each other, of the two sister or the two brother disciplines, you know. Those kinds of, like, you know, I haven't really seen it on here, but from people I talk to, you know, they kind of tend to misunderstand them, and almost even to the point of like seeing them what they're playing with models, you know. And then like wargamers have a further misunderstanding of us model makers, even though they are model makers too, but they're not. They wouldn't. It's a different type. They're basically like any of their what would be the word? Their finish is a different, like it's a means to an end to play the game rather than just to put up on the shelf. Now there are some wargamers that are like us, that are both wargamers and model makers, a bit like myself, and I can only get the best of both worlds. So yeah, like, so I have some Romans on the way. I got my Norman Knights I'm going to do some videos on as well. I got my Commander done. So I might do some kind of hangout style videos, or just babble for a while and paint some figures up. The sun's starting to go away. Good, you know. I don't like the sun that much. It's scary and bright and does weird things to me. Good thing I use in these washes is that because this is a solid Dunkel Gleb vehicle, I can change the hue and the intensity of colours by applying washes over them, and having a lot of control over what I do, which is good. You know what I mean? We like to control our paint as much as possible. I think that's the greatest mentality a model maker could have, in my opinion, is to control your model as much as possible, like to have as much control over possible, like rather than just kind of going with the flow and hoping you get where you want to go. I mean, having an idea where you want to go with the model. You'd be surprised how easy it is. Once you have like I think Carlos mentioned in one of his Order of Waffle videos that I wholeheartedly agree with him, is that you have to have like a visualization of the finish of your model, and it actually greatly improves your clarity of build, your clarity of creativity. And you know what I mean, you also kind of go, well, like, okay, if I want to try this, I'm going to have to learn this skill to best implement it. Do you know what I mean? Because like, as model makers, we're always learning. There is no such thing as a master in model making. You know what I mean? Like, and we often like go, oh, that's master quality. Well, because the hobby is forever changing, and new technologies and new techniques are constantly being learned. And this is the beauty of model making, I feel. is that it's constant. I mean, no one's ever like sitting on the laurels, like, and those, like, this might be a bit controversial, but anyone who just sits on their laurels and doesn't really try new things or push themselves creatively, it's kind of it's bad practice, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, you're not going to really grow as a model maker, and like, you know what I mean, it's just like how you're meant to grow as a person unless you don't experiment, you know, if you don't move to new horizons. You know what I mean? Like, of course, like, it's a personal choice, of course, you know what I mean? Now this might sound like mindless waffle, but there's actually a point to this. Do you know what I mean? Like that. If you just, like, use old techniques, which there's nothing wrong with, but, like, I think it's kind of an indirect counter-argument to those who go on about, like, who are running down, like, pre-made products like AK and shit. It's like, yes, they're pre-made, you can make them yourself, but there's no reason, just like Carlos, like, said in these videos, there's no reason why you can't change it and make it your own, you know? You know what I mean? You're experimenting, and experimentation is so important in model making, I believe, because one, no build will ever be the same. Your skills will always be different, which is good. No, that's ultimately what you're looking for. You're trying to, like, for me too. Now, okay, I'm going to make this personal instead. I'm going to personalize it for myself, because I don't want to be speaking for anyone else. Like, for me as a model maker, I feel that I'm not enjoying myself unless I'm either pushing myself creatively, like, trying something new, like a knocked out tank, which, like this model, I never tried knocked out tank. I'm also going to be trying some still water on the base, which has always kind of led me to, like, to disaster in the past. So again, I'm learning, and I'm pushing myself, and I'm pushing my skills. Your skills are nothing more than a set of tools, and it's irrelevant of your supposed skill level, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we're all model makers. It doesn't matter what your skill is, you know. We're all trying to get to the same place, and that's enjoyment. You know what I mean? And like, there's a lot of like I consider myself like if I had to kind of give myself a category, I consider myself just like a proficient model maker. But more importantly, I enjoy what I do. I think if there's any type of scaling of skill, it should be down to your enjoyment. What do you enjoy most? Does he enjoy himself? Does he do it because he has to? Blah 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 blah. I think that's how we should see it, because like, trying to see things solely from like who's a better model maker, and I don't really agree with that, because we're all good model makers. You know what I mean? It takes a very special type of person to sit down behind a table for a few hours at a time and work on a small scale, like, piece of plastic or resin or plaster or whatever, or metal, whatever your medium is, and maintain your creativity for, because bear in mind, like, this is focus. Even when I'm talking to you, and like, you can always be, I have to kind of stop and talk, and then kind of like do a little bit of work, and kind of pause for a couple of seconds. But the reason, like, is that it takes like a lot of focus, and like, especially in the modern world, a lot of people do not have that type of discipline anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's fire up the computer, Arma, great fit, I love Arma. No, play a bit of Arma, whatever, I love Arma. I'm not going to knock Arma, I love it. And you know what I mean? And it's there and then. No, I mean, that's the new type of like hobby. It's just like fire on the computer, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's progress. And a lot of people, especially those who are looking into the hobby, feel a little bit intimidated by it. Like, it's like, how can you guys do that? How can you guys sit there? It's either two things I find with people. Either one, they're looking and going, how do you do that? How can you be as good? How I could never be as good as that. Like, I was trying. I was like, but I wasn't like this when I started. You know what I mean? It's one of it's one of these hobbies that's a lovely steady progression. You just take your time, you enjoy what you do, and you grow and you enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? And everything else fits into place along the way. But basically, like, a lot of people think of, like, it's just like the idea of patience scares these people. I notice a lot of people, and we all know it. Like, how can you do it? And how can you sit there? It's like, well, try it and you'll be surprised, you know. Now again, it's not for everyone, but if you're like, you know what I mean, if you're kind of put off by that, just buy like a cheap model or a wargaming figure, sit down and paint. And you know, you'll be actually quite surprised. And you'll know pretty quickly is it for you or not, you know. That's what I always say to them. I know it's just literally sit them down on my workbench, hand them a figure, and do a bit of a kind of a painting workshop with them. And like, yeah, they don't take it up, but they enjoy it. And they go, Jesus, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. It's like, no, it's not. You know what I mean? It's a very, it's a therapeutic hobby of model making, I find. And like, you know what I mean? And I was kind of talking to Russell, Gosselin, you know, kind of try to keep in contact with him as much as I can. And I hope you're doing well, buddy. It's good to hear from you every now and then. And like, no, he kind of more or less said the same thing. It just helps him relax, helps him unwind. And like, I think we all find that. And I'd say like, if I talk to Cone, Carlos, Andy, Kevin, Old Gate, any of them, they'd all probably say the same. It just helps them unwind. And it's the same for me. You know what I mean? If I'm feeling stressed, like I just sit down, build. A lot of time it can be a little bit hard to actually get fully into it. But once I kind of do and relax, all my problems go out the window. And like, you know what I mean, there was a couple of months in my life where my models really came through and like saved me. Like, you know what I mean, my course didn't, my college course didn't, it failed me, as in it didn't come true for me, it didn't become the positive outlet that I needed but my models never let me down. You know, and I think it's so important in today's kind of world that you have something, and something, like, you know, I'm a gamer myself, you know what I mean, I play video games like everyone else, but there's one thing I kind of find that video games lack, is they lack kind of the substance of maybe model making or any other type of hobby, is that, cause you can't, I don't really call them hobbies, like, you can't call them hobbies. So, you know what I mean, because like, you know, you upload, or whatever, you log in, you go onto your server, you play with your mates for a while, and then you log off, and that's it. It's a very finite experience, and once it's over, and like, you know what I mean, so if you're kind of in a bit of a shit humour, and don't get me wrong, like, I enjoy playing like games with my mates, but it wouldn't be something I'd do if I was using it to kind of help me deal with stress or depression or something like that, because once it's over, if you get me, and then you're kind of back to square one, whereas this, it goes on longer, and like there's a little bit more of a process to it, you know what I mean? Same with wargaming, or guys who play chess, or guys who knit, or sew, or do embroidery, you know what I mean? Like, it's, or paint, should I say, God, sorry, yeah. I shouldn't be forgetting the artists amongst us. We owe them much. So, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of, I don't know where this chat came from. I just probably thinking about how what the hobby means to me. But I think more importantly is what the hobby means to you personally. You know what I mean? We always say, like, you know what I mean, like, to me it's therapeutic, but that's just me. Everybody's going to be different. Some people just do it because it allows them to express themselves. And ultimately, I think that's what we all do. It's a form of art. Like, I really don't like the model makers don't see themselves as artists, because we are. You know what I mean? It's a different discipline of art, but it's art nonetheless. You know what I mean? And I'd invite anyone to try to tell me that we're not. You know what I mean? Like, I was talking to Mary, like, and you know what I mean, like, she's an artist, and I was saying to her, like, and like, you know, she appreciates our work, and I was like, maybe like I should bring over a figure next time I see you, and we could work on it, like, you know, and like, you know what I mean? And to her, she's like, wow, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, you know what I mean, if I had to sit down and paint an acrylic or an oil painting, I'd be lost, and it's no different. It's just because there's such mirror differences to each other. Okay, there's similarities, yes, but yeah, like, it's art is a very unusual thing, like, you know what I mean, that, yes, there's a lot of crossover talent, if you will, a crossover, like, layering, shading, highlighting, whatever, like, no, all that came from art, all that came from painting, but then the application are so kind of unusual. Like you know, an artist, a lot like maybe a canvas painter who only paints canvas would find this kind of like almost a little bit like how do you make this work, you know? So it's an interesting thought, like. See, totally hadn't done a big waffle in a while, so you're getting your money's worth. So here's it's not even in focus. I really wish this thing had an automatic focus at times. So yeah. So I'm kind of just going for a kind of subtle weathering. I don't want to go too over the top on this because I'm still getting used to this scale. Okay, now move on to the rear deck. Can you see that? You can. So I'm going to start picking out various rivets. Okay. So yeah, like I think this hobby of ours is a very special thing, and I'm kind of happy things have kind of calmed down the community as well, you know. To be honest with you, I didn't quite understand why everybody was losing their shit, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I mean? Because nothing had really happened, you know what I mean? It's just like, yes, the community's got big, so the fuck what, like? Why are you all panicking, like? You know what I mean? Oh, it's going to be, you won't be able to keep in contact with everyone. But no, you'll keep in contact with those you consider your friends, like, and as will everyone else. It'll take care of itself, you know? And I'm happy just to know that, like, you know, it's just everybody's calmed down, everybody's kind of got a new perspective, and gone back to just enjoying the hobby, because this is meant to be a stress-free hobby, not really a stressful hobby. Like, you know, it defeats the purpose. You know, your hobby's meant to be unwinding, not causing you stress, like, you know what I mean? So I'm happy that's all. But it's like, you know, I kind of stayed out of it a little bit. No, I've made little comments here and there on it, but I'm just generally happy, like, you know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? It's just like sometimes we just need to just relax a little bit and enjoy it, and enjoy it for what it is, you know. And what it is whatever you make it to be. You know? Like, the community is only like one part of it. The individuals within it are just as important. Like, your individual enjoyment is just as important as any other type of community activity. You know what I mean? Like, and people are beginning to kind of put too much emphasis on community activity. Now, do you understand what I mean by that? I mean is that, like, they were doing like a sense of duty or sense of pressure to do certain things, and it's no longer been enjoyment, where it has to be kind of 50-50. It has to be to take part in the community, but also to enjoy what you do, you know. So like what? The driver of a white van was approached at Parnell Place at around 9 a.m. by uniformed Gardaí, but immediately drove off at high speed towards the Cork Limerick Road. The driver and his passenger were eventually arrested. Work on the Oasis banking inquiry is likely to be sped up following the convictions of former Anglo Finance Director Willie McAteer and his former colleague, the head of lending. So yeah, it's just sorry, and we're back. So I have to switch out my memory card. So this will be a relatively longer video than usual, because I found a second 2 gig one, so it's going to be like a 40-odd minute one, which is good. So yeah, it's just like, as I was saying, it's just that, no, it's personal enjoyment has to kind of come first a little bit, you know. Do you know what I mean? And people just have to kind of just do what they want to do, rather than just like what they think they have to. And like, it's good to see that that's kind of, people have come to that conclusion. Like, I'm surprised it took so many rants and so many people to freak out to get to that point. It shouldn't have, like, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory if you ask me, but it would take a bitter Irishman to come to that conclusion. Oh god. Now here's something that's going to be interesting to see what I do. This is the grill that goes over the rear engine deck. This is molded in a solid piece. and I'm gonna have to try to do it in such a way where I can try to convey that this is in fact mesh and not a solid piece. So I'm going to try some dry brushing on this. First I'm going to put the wash down, I'm going to put this down heavy. It doesn't be too even, just get the coverage. Love this song. You know, I was born in the 90s, this song is way older than I am. Yeah. No one can stand. So this has been a really enjoyable build. Like I've really enjoyed every moment of this. So again, thank you so much, Andy, for sending these kits out, man. They're unreal. And like I was talking to Carlos Mendes because he's building the 35th scale, its bigger brother. Just wait till you see the video whenever he gets around to doing it. Jesus, fantastic job. Such a much. Pretty much this kit would sit on its turret, it's that big. And like, you know, there's so much going on there, but he's done a fabulous job. Like he's still in construction. Like, you know, he's still a ways off from painting yet. But I'm really looking forward to it because, like himself, like I love the KT, the King Tiger or the Königstiger is. I prefer this to the Tiger 1 because it's such a sexy looking machine. Like, I don't even want, I love the Tiger 1 too. The Tiger 1 is just like a box that doesn't like come at me like. But this tank reminds me a lot of like a modern battle tank. Do you know what I mean? This and the Panther are probably my favourites, and then the Stungesitz assault gun. So luckily, or not even luckily, but awesomely, there's a couple of Stungesitz or Stungeschutz or Stugs included in the box that Andy sent out to me. So like, I get to finally build some Dragon Stugs. I haven't built any 35 Stugs before, so it might be a precursor to some bigger Stugs I build in the next couple of months or years. So I'm kind of having a bit of a relaxation day. Done a lot of training this week and kind of feeling a bit fucking burnt out, like, but enjoyed it. Like, you know, I enjoy training a little bit, you know. I'm not really a gym person. I hate gyms. Too much fucking ego for my liking. And like, if you want to get fit, running on a road and eating well is more than enough. You know what I mean? And like, yes, okay, you're not going to get ripped or built, but I'm joining for the military. I need the ability to move, not to be able to look good, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm a sexy beast to begin with, like, my god, like, come on, have you seen me? God, I'm beautiful. Yeah, no, not really. I'm surprised any of you gone blind yet. But, you know what I'm trying to say is just that, like, I don't do that kind of gay-ass fucking fanfare. And sorry, I don't mean that in any disrespect to the gay community anyway, so please don't say that. It's just a saying we have here. And I hope you understand the context of what I mean. It just means like kind of awkward or fame. It's not actually in any way to do with people who are gay or lesbian or anything like that. So no one freak out, because I'll just tell you to calm down. You know what I mean? We all have different ways of speaking, and it's just a word. You know what I mean? But I just don't understand that. I don't understand why people like, do they get fit or do they get? Because technically, like, when you're built, you're not technically fit as such. No, not in my opinion. Yes, you could lift as many bags of potatoes as you wanted, but like, if I asked you to run 10 miles, can you do it? And most likely, the answer is no. You know. You know what I mean? You might, but you'd be just as in bad way as anyone else. Like, because there's a difference. It's more the aesthetic quality that a lot of people who train. Now, some people do it because they're You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind the guys who train in the gym and then go for a run and all that. It's just like a part of their training routine. That's fine. That's not the issue. But just the guys who go in solely for their looks. And I don't get me wrong. Like, it's okay. It's a good thing in the sense that they're looking after themselves. But not. You don't do it for your bloody ego. You do it because it's just healthy and you'll live longer. You know. Do you know what I mean? And also, like, you know, when you're running and like when the girls are running in front of you in their lovely little spandexy like shorts, you know. Talk about motivation, yeah? Can't go wrong. Just like, well, I think it was Fun Kettenhand said when he's training in the gym and he goes in and like the women just after, like the yummy mummies, after dropping the kids off to school go for their run, and it's like, I understand what you mean, my friend. Do you know what I mean? Having something nice to look at. And let's be honest, women are beautiful creatures, and you know what I mean? And like, it's just appreciation in a different way. It's not objectification in any way, shape or form. You know what I mean? It's just acknowledging they have nice curvy bits. Oh, I'm getting so much trouble for this video. Damn, baby, I'm mad at me. Yes, I sing like this and I don't know the words. Well, yeah, so like, so it's kind of taking a bit of a, I'll probably go for like a run or a jog later on this evening. I probably most likely will. Cause it's not a good idea like to allow the routine to fail. And then you did the temptation of eating unhealthy shit and let it build up. So even just get out and about, you know what I mean? As long as you're constantly in motion, your body's happy as far as I think. You don't have to run 50 miles, like, you know what I mean? Even if you go for a walk and you're like, you know, you do 6-7k, and you can do 6-7k without even realizing it, you know? Like, me and my mate have been doing, we've yet to properly range it, but I'd say it's a minimum of 13k. I'd say it's probably in the region to 14.5, 15k as a hike. And like, no, your muscles are sore, your feet are in tatters by the end of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you're not so much blistered out of it, but your feet are sore. And like, once you know that and your legs are burning and all that, that's it. You're working out. Like, you know, once you feel like you're burning or you're sore, you know you're doing it right. Of course, you know, you need to, like, you know, you do your warm ups and warm downs. But then, I mean, so like, it's not even that, you know, you pay like €600 for a year. Nah, you won't spend that much. Well, you might for a fancy ass gym, but most gyms have kind of gone down. So gyms are good for just maybe like, you know, when you're trying to get rid of some fat, just to help you train a bit quicker. By all means, you know. But each to their own, you know. So like, it's been a bit of a random video, been a bit of everything in it, but no harm, you know what I mean? Like, it's good to rant and rave just a little bit, and in a respectful way, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to insult anyone, and like, no, I stand by what I say, so anyone goes like, oh, I don't agree with you, Shane, but by all means, it's good, you know, like that's all part of debate and fighting, and I enjoy that, you know, because like, when I bring my full persona to bear, you'll be very sorry, you'll regret even get engaged in me in argument, like, apparently I can be very overwhelming when I want to be. But I'm getting better. So I hope everybody's keeping very well. You know, I know I kind of harp on about this, but you know, the community does mean quite a bit to me. And I hope everybody's keeping well. I hope everybody's enjoying their hobby. And like, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, that we enjoy the hobby and that we support each other along the way. Even if you don't have much knowledge and anything like that, like, never be scared of comments, go good job or whatever, you know. Like that's one thing I love about this community. People do that, you know. So just adding the partial Maybach. Now we gotta just sit down and be doing well. Okay, this is right. I don't think the tabs quite line up, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them off. As soon as it line up for you, just remove the tabs and do it by eye. See, just as easy. So you're not going to see much of this once the top cover is on anyway, so it's a bit of a shame, I know, but I think it's very, very cool of Dragon to even included this in the first place, so... Okay, there we go. If you're buying furniture and not sure if it'll fit in your room, don't get stressed. At Fitzpatrick Furniture, all fabric sofas and chairs are made to your exact requirements. So, Maybach is in, weathered up as well, some scratches. So like when the top plate's down, I shouldn't touch this, but it's like that.
Forget everything, and now you can do it for less with their Sunday to Thursday night deals. We like D&D plus 2 evening meals at prices from €149 per person sharing. For more, see watersidehouseHotels.ie or stationhousehotels.ie. Then drop everything and go.
I'll do.
Deserve a break.
So that's that. Pretty sweet for a model this small. I'm gonna do some oil stains on the top deck once all this is dried, and so that's really it. So like we're nearly there. Now we're gonna start preparing for some pin washes. So got 11 minutes left. So we'll just talk about some of the colours I'm gonna probably most likely use. I'm gonna probably use wrong colour. Sorry. Where's my titanium white? Woo, that was close. No one saw that. So it's probably going to be titanium white and yellow ochre most likely, or I might even just use titanium white alone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put dots irregularly. I'm going to moisten everything first. I'm going to seal everything back in with gloss. Then once that's dried, I'm going to, sorry off the word, I'm going to moisten everything in white spirit and do the dots of oil and then streak down in one direction. And then seal that in, and then the final thing is going to be adding fresh or earth effects and a bit of rust for the exhaust, just only for the exhaust because this vehicle is going to be relatively new. Maybe a little bit of rust here and there, just tiny, just a little bit, just add a bit of tonal differences. Then I'm going to take a small pencil or a big graphite pencil, which I have here somewhere. What do I do with my graphite pencil? Oh yeah. So I was going to take either my graphite or my little pencil here, my mechanical pencil, and just trace some areas to give a bit of a metallic sheen and a little bit of pigment, and that's it. Then we're good then. And I'm going to do the same treatment for the tracks, and then because of the way I have the base set up, I'm actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin wash, seal, do some earth effects in the underrunning gear, and then I'm going to stop. Let that dry, and then I'm going to move everything over to the base, so I can start working on the base, and then weather the vehicle to the base. So that's what we're going to do. So I have another couple of hours work yet to do in this, but we are nearly there. So my Russell Gosselin entry is nearly finished. I've enjoyed, ever since I switched my project to this instead of the Airfix one, I've enjoyed it more. It's a little bit more of it's a better kit, and better kits mean better enjoyment, you know. I'm not knocking, like the Airfix kit's wonderful for what it is like. It was a bit overpriced, it was like €25 for that, like, I was like, fuck off. But at the time, I kind of wanted an entry quickly because I wanted to join, but this has come to the rescue. I've also added a bit of a dark wash into the gun impact, kind of tone it down. I'm actually going to take some black pigment and a sponge and get some soot to make it look like, you know, it's the heat. You can see the wash, how it's made the turret stand out. I have a little bit of silvering, you can kind of see that, yes, yeah, you can see the silvering there. So hopefully a few more coats of gloss, and then when the matte coat goes over it should hide it. If not, fuck it. There's nothing really I can do about it. Decals can be hit and miss with me. That's just how I do them. These are cartograph decals, so they are good. So I know for a fact that for the most part, like, cartograph are wonderful, and I have faith that I'm not going to get burnt. So this has been a long video, and if you continue listening to me for this length, you have my thanks. I hope this was enjoyable for you. There wasn't really much to learn. I was just doing panel lines and like just watching it alone. You probably get the gist of it. If you want me to actually do a tutorial of it, just let me know and I will. I have plenty more vehicles to do it on. So again, thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm at 203 subscribers. I was going to make a 200 subscriber video, but I didn't really feel there was a need to. So I'm just going to say a very, very humble thank you to all of you. For all your time, your encouragement, your comments, your feedback, being the driving force behind my models, lads. Thank you all so much, you know, all of you. Every last one of you who watch, who like, who comment, you have my thanks. And I hope we continue to make many more models again in the future together. Like. So again, thank you so much, lads. I'm going to sign off now. I'll probably go for a jog and hope not to keel over. So thank you again so much. You never know, the spandex brigade might be out, so it might be plenty more motivation. Oh god, I'm a bad man. I'm going to hell. But well, I'm told they had tacos down there. So I'll see you all soon. So bye bye, happy modelling, and watch out for those buses. Bye bye.